Channel. Today I'm going to be making a special dish which is called Noodle Kugel. A lot of Jewish people make this meal, and I, for one, used to work as a geriatric nursing assistant in a Jewish convalescent home, and a lot of the times when they would have meals, especially during their special holidays such as Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, Yom Kippur, or Feast of Tabernacles, or whatever, they would serve kugel. Now, kugel is a staple food for them, so they'll eat it anytime they want to eat it. But they eat it cold or they eat it hot. But I remember as a nurse, I was always serving it to the residents there at the nursing home. There were certain things that they liked, and that was one of them that they enjoy eating. So what I did was, I have a pot of water on the stove, and the recipe calls for 2 cups of noodles, egg noodles. Now I know they have different types of egg noodles for this recipe, but I found what was more convenient to me. So I'm just going to use the basic egg noodles that I usually use for any other type of meal. So what you have to do is boil the noodles, cook it, prepare it as, you know, the directions on the bag. So I already put some water in here, about 2 to 3 cups of water, and the recipe calls for 2 cups of the pasta. Now, the recipe calls for 2 cups, but it says to follow the directions on the bag. I don't know, because the bag is telling me to empty the whole bag into the pot, which I'm not so sure. So I'm just going to go by what it says on the recipe. So we're going to just do the 2 cups. If I need to make some more, it won't be a problem. I can make more. So I'm going to dump these noodles here in the pot. And I'm going to let them boil until they are tender. I'm going to add a little tad of salt to this, not a lot, just, I would just say like a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Okay guys, so I just did the 2 cups, and I'm looking at it like this is not going to get it, so I'm going to double this recipe. Okay, so before I go any further, I just got to give you the ingredients. So, you know the egg noodles, of course. Then you have to use heavy whipping cream, sugar, I have organic sugar, and vanilla extract, ground cinnamon, raisins. I got this little small pack because I ain't want no big one, because I don't eat them all the time. Then I got some cottage cheese, which I love. I could eat that plain. Some butter, and the eggs. And so now I'm going to get started. So the first things first, after you cook your noodles, now I looked at that 2 cup portion, and I know my husband can kill that 2 cup portion by himself. That's not going to be enough. So I'm going to double my recipe. The recipe calls for 4 eggs, so I'm going to have to use 8 eggs to make this recipe. So let's get started. Now, I've had kugel before. Like I told you in the video, I worked in a Jewish convalescent home, not just one, but a few of them. And I also had one particular patient that really liked my services. And I would work 8 hours, and then when she went home, I would go from my job to her house where she was living with her daughter and her husband and all that. And so she would pay me every day to take care of her. And so they ate a lot of this Kugel stuff, and they had all types of Jewish meals. And she was really nice. Her name was Miss Buckalter. She passed away, but she always made an impression in my life. So, and I always took care of her the best I could, and she loved me and I loved her, and I just wanted her to be comfortable. When I was there, you know, they're very, when it comes to their beliefs and, you know, their traditions and things, they had 2 kitchens in their house. Now, when I was working in one particular, when I was a dietary aide back in the day, I worked in a Jewish nursing home, and they had a dairy side kitchen. They also had a meat side, so the dairy and the meat could not mix because it's not kosher. And so whenever they had holiday come, the rabbi would come in, and it's a specific rabbi that was in charge of far as food, you know, not mixing with certain food, and everything in the kitchen had to be kosher. They had very, very strict rules of how to keep their kitchens and how they had to separate everything so that it would not mix. Of course, you know, they don't eat anything with blood mixed in it that is not kosher. It would be like defiled, basically. So they couldn't eat that together. Like sometimes, like when we go to the market and we purchase chicken, like the blood has to literally be like drip out of the meat, and it has to be clean and sterilized to the point where, you know, they have this very strict regulations when it comes to the foods they eat. So like even when I would come and I would take care of Miss Buckalter, I couldn't bring my food in the house, period, because it wasn't kosher. And so I ate outside on the porch, and during that time it was pretty warm, so it wasn't like I'm sitting out there freezing eating my food. So I would have to eat out on the porch when I worked with her. And I didn't mind because I understood, out of respect, you know, that's their home and they have certain traditions and things. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up these eggs a little bit using this whisk. Okay, I'm just mixing it up briefly. And then I'm going to add the sugar, because you have to mix the sugar with the eggs. Now, as far as the sugar, it calls for a ½ cup of granulated sugar. So we're going to just use 1 cup of sugar. Okay, so I have my 8 eggs in here because I had to double my portion. So the next thing is you have to put a ½ cup of sugar in this bowl, but I've doubled up mine, so I'm going to do a cup of sugar. So now I'm going to mix the 2 together. And I think it's probably pretty simple to make this. I don't make this all the time, but I used to serve it to the residents at the convalescent home, and it looked good to me. So I was like, well, let me try it then. Okay, so now I have all my sugar and the eggs combined, and then, don't mind me, I'm using my husband's phone. I'm going to, the next thing says to add cottage cheese, heavy cream, and melted butter, vanilla, salt, lemon zest, raisins, and mix well. So, okay, so make sure, before this, make sure you preheat your oven to 350 degrees. I'm sorry I didn't tell you that in the beginning, but preheat your oven to 350 degrees, I'm telling you now. Okay, so after we do that, we're going to add the cottage cheese. So since I have 2 servings, I'm going to have to do like 2 cups of cottage cheese. 2 cups of cottage cheese. Oh no! I'm making a mess. That's the whole daggone cup. Okay, so the recipe calls for a cup, but because I'm doubling mine, it's 2 cups. So it's going in here. So I'm mixing it together really good. It smells good so far. Okay, and so then the next thing is to put in is the heavy cream. So we're going to need about 2 cups of heavy cream. That's just for 1 serving. So I'm going to have to do 4 cups. I'm just going to add it to this because it's all going in the same place. That's 2 cups. 2 cups here for 1 serving. Two cups for another serving. To mix this all together, everything is getting mixed up. Let's hope it tastes good, y'all. This is my first time making this. Okay, so you have to melt a stick of butter. I misread the directions, but I melted it, and it said to put some in the baking pan. But as I look closer, it said a stick of butter for the mixture and plus an additional butter for the pan. So I melted a stick, and I was like, it's so watery down here with butter. So what I did was I just drained what was in there into here, and that's where I'm gonna go with this because this is my first time doing this. So y'all just bear with me. If you find this fun or funny and I'm making a spectacle of myself, so be it. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and mix the butter in here. Get it mixed up really good. Okay, so I got that done. So the next thing we had to put in is the vanilla. So the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I'm not using a measuring spoon. I'm just going to do it the way I know because I cook a lot and bake a lot, so I'm going to do it. Good. When you bake a lot, you kind of know what 2 teaspoons of something is. Sometimes I don't even measure. Sometimes I just know from a lot of practice. So I'm going to mix the vanilla into the batter here. It smells good. So I'm going to add about one teaspoon of salt. I'm going to just guess it, so it's be 2. That's it. I use pink Himalayan salt. I need to refill it. And I do have some, I just have to get it and fill it up. And I'm gonna mix it up again. like raisins. I don't eat them all the time. And I just got these little small boxes because I have a box in there now I ain't ate yet. And so I'm like, I'm not doing it. So, and I don't want this thing to be full of raisins. Like, I like a little bit, but not like major raisins. Now, I'll eat raisins in like Raisin Bran. Like I like that. I love raisins, but too many make you, you know, go to the bathroom. So anyway, I'm gonna just put this in here. And y'all just bear with me because I'm visually challenged and I have a hard time seeing things, reading things. So thank you for your patience in this video. Okay, it's 2 of them in there. So I'm gonna just mix these up real good. It's looking good. I was kind of nervous about this recipe. I don't think I can stand up to the ladies, the Jewish ladies. They got it down pat. I give them a pat on the back because they're pros. Okay, so now I'm going to use a lemon. I have a half a lemon here and just need a little bit of lemon zest. So I'm going to just start grating some of this into it. It smells so good. Okay, so just gonna take this, my finger, and put all of that in there. Lemon smells is very aromatic. I'm gonna keep churning and churning. Thanks to my husband who worked all day long, came home and walked Duke, and came back in the house and then helped me make this recipe right now. So we're just trying to get it done. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to pour all this mixture into this pan. And you scrape out all your raisins. Okay, now I'm going to put the noodles on top of the mixture. Some of these noodles are cooled off and they sticking together. I don't care, it's going in there. And I added some cinnamon because it just seemed like it needs cinnamon. For real, for real. Come on. Alright, now my noodles are sticking together. I think I'm doing this recipe wrong. I don't know. But it's going in there one way or the other. It's going. I think I probably should have put some oil in the noodles. But I had a hard time seeing the package words because they were real light. Yeah, I couldn't see it. So now I done got my clumpy noodles on top of this. And I'm gonna just kind of press it down into the batter. just so that they kind of soak it. Now the recipe calls for some butter cookies to be crushed on here, but trying to find butter cookies, I couldn't find none. So I'm not putting none in here. So we'll just push it down and then in here. I mean, it look good from here. I hope it tastes good. Okay. Now I think all the noodles are submerged in here. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it in the oven for like 60 minutes, an hour long, and then we'll see what happens to this. Okay guys, so I took out the Kugel. It looks good. So I've been letting it cool for a little bit because it was piping hot when I took it out. So let me see how it tastes. Okay guys, so I have the Kugel here. I don't know if you can see it. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to taste it right now. I'm making this again. And I thought it was going to turn out nasty. No, it didn't. I was a little nervous. I don't know what I'm missing. It's so good. I think I'm gonna start making different food from different countries now. I'm pumped up like a pair of Reebok because it tastes good. I'm going to be making this again. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to turn on your post notifications. Everyone have a blessed one. Peace.